morning, guys. Getting ready to start my day, and I was thinking, you know, this is the time of the year as the temperature starts dropping. For a lot of people, their seborrheic dermatitis gets worse, and one thing people don't realize is that that can affect your eyebrows. You can get these flaky patches in the brows, and also like around this area, because there are a lot of oil glands in that area, and you know, it's kind of part and parcel of what aggravates dandruff. Using anti-dandruff shampoos on the scalp regularly. Just make sure you let the shampoo lather sit on the scalp for a couple of minutes at least while you're in the shower before rinsing it out. It actually can end up also helping the seborrheic dermatitis on your face. It's thought that, you know, treating the scalp, we have a high density of that little yeast. Overall, it helps cut down on the burden of yeast and kind of the inflammatory response, and the downstream effect of that is it may end up helping out your face as well. Now, you can use those anti-dandruff shampoos on your face, although they are a little drying. But there's a baby shampoo with zinc pyrithione. Yeah, it's called Dr. Eddie's Happy Cappy, and that's mild enough that you can use it as a face wash, and it's actually pretty helpful for seborrheic dermatitis on the face. Likewise, salicylic acid cleansers, face washes, can be helpful too. A lot of people get it around here in the creases, the nasolabial folds, along the forehead. And if you have a deeper skin tone, it can leave white patches behind. I'm working my way through the Ordinary's Barrier Support Serum. One thing about seborrheic dermatitis, though, is that there is a skin barrier issue too, because it's an eczema. And so the skin can be very dry, irritated, and flaky, as well as oily, because it's an oily skin problem, but then the barrier becomes impaired. It's a misconception that sebum is like this perfect moisturizer. I mean, it's pretty good at softening the skin in a sense, but it doesn't really, you know, help your barrier out as much as one might think. The two often operate separately, sebum and barrier. For example, a child, like a toddler, they have virtually no sebum. And they're not going around, for the most part, with dry, flaky skin. Oiliness creeps up around the time of puberty or earlier. These days, you know, kids go through puberty a lot earlier than they did when I was a youngin'. And of course, sun protection. Sun can trigger seborrheic dermatitis, but it's not as big of a trigger as like it is for rosacea, but sun protection is really important because it helps cut down on the inflammation in the skin, and plus UV further impairs the skin barrier. Anyway, other triggers for seborrheic dermatitis besides winter weather are stress, illness, underlying immunosuppression, and neurologic disorders. Like there's definitely a neurocutaneous aspect to seborrheic dermatitis that is not fully understood, because one thing that like has been observed with it is that people who get facial paralysis, like after a stroke, they will develop really exuberant seborrheic dermatitis in a lot of cases. And it's always thought that like maybe there's some neuroinflammation going on there that contributes to that. Like also people who have Parkinson's often will develop really, you know, exuberant seborrheic dermatitis. Not always, but it is actually a really common association. Same thing with multiple sclerosis. All right, time to get the coffee fired up. This Kosari kettle, I think I've had it now for 2 years. Highly recommend it if you are in the market for an electric kettle. I love it because it has these different temperature settings, depending on, you know, if you're a tea snob and you like your temperature just right. But the best part is the hold temperature function, because once it comes to the temperature you want, and it just holds it there. As opposed to boiling water on the stove once it comes to a boil, the kettle starts screeching and you have to like act fast and it can be very stressful. This is a lot more zen. I think they make it in white, but honestly, I kind of like the black. So I've had this lavazza for some time now. I'm gonna crack into it because I am just about out of whole beans. This one is ground. I've been on a whole bean kick now for a couple of years, and I prefer doing my own beans, but this is what we're doing today. I have an order of 4 Sigmatic coming though, so I'll be back on the bean grinding shortly. One thing about me, I try and have, I drink water when I get up in the morning. I try and have my first full liter of water before I tap into coffee. It's not as though I chug the liter of water, I sip on it, you know, move around, get my day started. I find that drinking coffee when you are dehydrated, because let's face it, you don't drink all night, 7-8 hours, you go without any fluids, so you wake up a little dry, let's be honest. And I find that if I just come in straight with coffee, it's not the same effect. It's not the same effect. Pre-hydrating, it takes the coffee, it elevates the coffee experience. I drink coffee for the taste. I don't necessarily need coffee to function. I'm not one of those, but I do need it to be nice. I'm just kidding. Lavazza is pretty good stuff. I've never had a Lavazza coffee that let me down. This is a year old though. Now that I think about it, because this I got a gift set for the holidays last year that someone sent me, and it was like this. It came from, I'm blanking on what the place is called. It's like a Italian grocery, it's a fancy Italian grocery chain. They have one in Chicago. They also have one in Dallas, I think. Anyway, last year I got as a gift, like a gift basket, and it had all sorts of nice pastas, some tomato sauces, olive oil, and like this little bruschetta topping, special little Italian anise cracker things that were delicious. And it had some coffee, including this. And I never tapped into this because at that point I was drinking Raven's Brew, which I can no longer find on iHerb. It's no longer sold there. Anyway, backstory, this has been in my pantry for a year. So I don't know how fresh it's gonna be, but we shall see. I'm sure it's fine, it smells good. The magic of a vacuum sealing. But yeah, I love the pour that this little kettle gives. It's perfect for the French press. Check out that gorgeous foam. Looks like chocolate. All right, and then we just set the timer for 6 minutes. All right, time to fire up a new candle. I'm going in with the brandied apple. I trim my wicks, and I keep an old candle jar lid to dump the little freshly trimmed wick into. But this just makes it burn a little bit more effectively. Yeah, I got this at Rondell's. They have a pretty nice candle selection. This brand, Motif. I've been pretty pleased. I just had a caramel apple one that was really nice. This brandied apple is pretty good too. It's unlike any apple scent I've ever had. You guys, this thing brings me so much joy. All right, time to plunge. Hey, drinking coffee is good for your skin, obviously in moderation. Too much coffee obviously is not a good thing. Too much caffeine disrupts your sleep, but coffee is rich in anti-inflammatory compounds, caffeic acid. Looks good. That last coffee that I had, Bubs or whatever, I finished it, but it was not my favorite. Tasted burnt. Let's give this a taste. Year-old coffee. Does it age like a fine wine? Not bad at all. Not bad at all. Better than that Bubs stuff. Here we have all sorts of holiday stocking stuffers. What in the world is this? Bath confetti? Okay. This is like little fragrance flakes of detergent, basically. If you have atopic dermatitis, you have to stay away from those kinds of things. They can, the problem with stuff like this is like you're in the tub, you're soaking and everything, and you don't end up like rinsing this off. It can leave a residue on the skin that ends up being kind of irritating. So I don't know, it's cool, it's fun, but the aftermath can be not the most beneficial for your skin. Sweet berry vanilla sugar cookie. Then they have bubble bath. Bubble bath is another one that definitely a no-no if you have atopic dermatitis, but it's like really not the best thing for your skin because you're basically just soaking in a tub of surfactant and it leaves a residue on the skin that can be super irritating to the skin barrier, especially in the skin folds. Vanilla peppermint, what's the purple one? Sweet winter berry, and then sugar cookie. Something tells me that the body mists are not very long lasting, but that's just a guess. You get vanilla peppermint, sweet winter berry, and again with the vanilla sugar cookie. Now, same thing with the bath fizzies. These are kind of like the same issue that you might run into with bubble bath, is that they definitely, they make a mess in your tub a lot of the times depending on the brand, but it's just like a little fragrance bomb that can really be irritating to the skin. Plus these have dyes in them, which can also be irritating to the skin for some people. That's another thing to be aware of. Now, recently I did a video on the TikTok viral trend of using a disposable washcloth for your face. Long story short, you don't need a single-use face towel, but I point out in that video that if you have recurrent staph skin infections, or if you're dealing with ringworm, you want to be careful with these loofahs because they can spread that bacteria around your skin and cause skin problems in other areas, and likewise they can spread the fungus around. It's better to use a washcloth because after each use, you can wash a washcloth in hot soapy bleach water, but you can't really wash these. What is this? Oh, these are hair elastics. That's cute. Looks like a little lollipop. Okay, that I can get on board with. Although, if you wear your hair pulled back in a tight ponytail, it can put a lot of traction on the hair and lead to traction, hair loss, thinning, hair breakage. So take a break from tight ponytails from time to time. You know, it's really popular right now to have that slick back bun, and a consequence of that, if you do it every day, is it can cause traction alopecia, thinning, especially around the temples. Here's a lip balm, of course, in the 3 cents. Now, the main issue with this is going to be contact dermatitis from any of these ingredients, but the fragrance would be the most common. Otherwise, this actually looks like a decently moisturizing formula with petrolatum, paraffin, and beeswax. It's this little snowman. Oh, little mini bath fizzers. That's a no-go. So this stuff is all cute, but I would say pass. Ooh, nail decals. Gotta say, I am tempted by these. Are they? Oh, they're just little tiny stickers. Oh, how fun. Okay, I kind of want this. Walgreens is definitely competing with CVS for travel sizes of things, because the other day I shared with you guys a shop with me for travel skincare YouTube short video at CVS, but Walgreens, check it out. They have a travel size, just one left, obviously popular, of Panoxyl here. $2.99. Get this cute little Gold Bond medicated powder. So I recommend using powders like this if you have really sweaty feet, because it will help absorb the excess moisture, and that can cut down actually on callus formation as well as odor. This has menthol in it, which can help distract the itch nerves, although allergy is a possibility. How cute is this little mini nail polish remover too? Like, that's convenient to have in your travel bag if you wear nail polish. $1.49. Can be very drying though for the nails. After you get, the nail polish off, make sure you rinse your hands and maybe even wash them with a mild soap, and then use moisturizer, because it's super drying if you leave that residue on the hands. I have a pretty good selection of CeraVe too. They have the daily moisturizing lotion, the foaming facial cleanser, the hydrating facial cleanser, and of course the popular moisturizing cream. They even have their own version of the moisturizing cream as a travel. I mean, that's
That's stepping up.
Hey guys, I just hopped out of the shower. I'm all moisturized. To my face, I came in again with the Ordinary Soothing Barrier Support Serum. I'm really wanting to finish it so that I can move on. I'm also making my way through the Aloe 2% NAG. So one of the questions that I get a fair amount is like, is it okay to use retinoids if you have sensitive, rosacea-prone skin? And you absolutely can. The question is like, are you able to tolerate these ingredients? Because truthfully for rosacea, topical retinoids actually can help the condition out quite a bit because first of all, a retinoid, whether it be adapalene or tretinoin or tazarotene, can help to reduce the number of those rosacea bumps, the red bumps, the pus-filled bumps. In theory, it'll potentially help cut down on the burden of those little mites. Demodex that also are contributory may help out with the inflammatory infiltrate against those. That's part of, you know, the overall package that you get with rosacea. But with long-term consistent use of a topical retinoid, it actually kind of strengthens the epidermis and improves barrier function. So with that, you might experience an improvement in the symptoms of sensitivity because the retinoid helps the barrier function better. With rosacea, an aspect of it is a barrier problem. Irritating stuff gets in more readily. Plus you've got a neurocutaneous aspect to it where the little nerves that course through the skin are hyper irritable. So they have better access to irritants, probably because of the barrier issue. And you know, the slightest little thing coming in contact with the skin can really set those little nerves off and lead to vasodilation of blood vessels. That's why you get redness, inflammatory infiltrate coming in, inflammation, also, you know, seeing those little Demodex signs. So all that, like, I mean, there's a lot of science behind rosacea and a ton of stuff that we don't know. All I had to say, yes, you definitely can use topical retinoid. Now, tretinoin is an option. Tazarotene is an option. Those two, tretinoin and tazarotene, they tend to be a lot more irritating. Now, there's a newer prescription tretinoin. It's called Altreno. It's tretinoin in a more moisturizing base. It has hyaluronic acid. It also has collagen in it, which is hydrating. And so that might help offset some of the typical dryness and irritation that people experience when starting it. Then there is also good old adapalene. Adapalene is one of the easiest topical retinoids to tolerate. So that's actually a great option, adapalene different gel, which you can buy without a prescription here in the US. I recently did for you guys a video, top 5 benefits beyond acne for adapalene different gel. And you know, if you tolerate it, rosacea is one of those conditions that can benefit from a topical retinoid. And then of course, it can improve the appearance of age spots, hyperpigmentation, sunspots. So there are a lot of perks to be had. I'm hunting around here for, did I put it? There it is. You know, I've been using this Redken Acidic Perfecting Concentrate for over a month now, I want to say. Correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure I've been using it for over a month. It is intended for people who have color-treated hair or damaged hair from a lot of chemical processing. It has technology in it that, you know, allegedly reapproximates those damaged bonds, and it also acts as a heat protectant. For me, it's not been as good in terms of the bang for my buck I get as far as the styling benefit that it pretends in comparison to the Moroccan oil styling cream. But as I have continued to use it, I have to say, it does a good job as a leave-in conditioning treatment. It does a good job. Like, my hair is pretty manageable. It's not frizzy. It's not, you know, taking on a life of its own. Like, I was editing a video today and my hair was down and I was like, well, you know, I have to say, like, objectively speaking, I've been using this for a while and I think it does a pretty good job. Is it my favorite? No. Let me know though, what recommendations do you guys have for hair care products that you love? Preferably drugstore affordable. A lot of the drugstore stuff is not cheap these days. You know, it's all over the place. The drugstore shampoo brand that I have really liked a lot of what I've gotten has been the Dove. Dove shampoo and conditioner has really been good for me. And it's funny because I'm not such a fan of their body washes. I love the Beauty Bar, the fragrance-free one. Yeah, their body washes for me, I don't know, I feel like they're that Corda moisturizing cream. I feel like, I don't know, it's just a little bit too it feels filmy. I've never really cared for that body wash. Like, it's too thick. But their antiperspirants pumped with fragrance, but I love the sprays. And their shampoo and conditioners, I love. The Derma series, specifically the anti-dandruff shampoo, golden. Like, they have been really, really good. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna wrap this vlog up here. I hope you are having a fantastic weekend. Thank you so much for watching to the end. If you enjoyed this vlog, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and as always, don't forget, sunscreen and subscribe. I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.